Hey guys, thanks for watching. I wanted to make a video with my NFL Wildcard weekend picks, who I think is going to win, just for fun. I think the 49ers will beat the Seahawks. I think that will be a rather convincing game. I think the Chargers will beat the Jags. I think the Charger head coach, I'm not sure about some of the decisions he makes, but I think Herbert may be the second best quarterback in the NFL. Actually, he might be, behind Patrick Mahomes. So he bails them out a lot. I think the Chargers will win this game. Now the Dolphins against the Bills. The Bills will win this game. The Dolphins are without Tua. The Dolphins are without Bridgewater. This game, I think, will be closer than people think, just because I think that once the Bills have the game in hand, they'll probably lay off because, they're likely to have the Bengals coming to play them. That's a good possibility, and they're not going to want to leave their starters out if they don't have to, with the Bengals coming to town. And now we have the Giants against the Vikings. I haven't had an upset yet. This is my upset. I think the Giants will beat the Vikings. I think the Vikings are frauds. So, what? I don't even know what their most impressive win is. One might argue it was coming back on the Colts, when they were down 33-0. I don't know about that. I think the Giants are a rougher squad. I think they'll take Jefferson out. From what I've seen, and it hasn't really been a lot of the Vikings, but it seems that when Jefferson's held in check, the Vikings are a team that can be had. Now we got the Ravens against the Bengals. Now, I'm a Bengal fan, and this game is dangerous. Guys, most of you probably don't follow the Bengals. Let me tell you this. The Bengals have a bad history of going against backup quarterbacks the last couple of years. They lost to Cooper Rush. They've, lost Andy Dalton when he was in Chicago. Their ex-quarterback that they let go. They're not as good as you would think they would be against backup quarterbacks. And Huntley is, I respect Huntley. I think Huntley actually would be a pretty good quarterback in a system like the Raiders. He's not a runner. The Ravens defense is a defense of, built for Lamar. And Huntley's more of a pocket passer. He's athletic, but I think he's more of a pocket passer. I think he would be in a position to succeed better probably if he had Josh Jacobs to hand the ball off to, and he had Adams and Waller and Renfro as receivers. But anyway, he doesn't right now. He's a Raven. But the Ravens' defense, I tell you what, I was an NFL fan. I've seen Chicago games with Roquan Smith. I don't think I've seen Roquan Smith play as well as he played, as well as he's playing as a Raven. He's playing like he wants to get there. They just gave him $20 million a year for what, 4 years? Might be 5 years. I think it's 4 years, $100 million. Man, think what Lamar is thinking right now. Now they're thinking about franchising Lamar, I'm guessing, but Lamar's holding out because he wants a gigantic contract. And I actually don't blame the Ravens for not wanting to pay it because of his injury history. But anyway, he's holding out for a contract. And then you get a new inside linebacker that goes and gets this huge, massive... isn't this record-breaking for an inside linebacker? $20 million a year for 4 years? It might not be record-breaking. I'm not sure, but that's a lot of money. I think this is a very tight game. I think the Bengals will win, but it will be close. Cowboys against the Bucks. Guys, this will be Tom Brady's swan song for the season. I think he'll come back, maybe not with the Bucks next year, but the Cowboys will win this game. I think the Cowboys will lose the next round, but I think the Cowboys will beat Tampa Bay. They'll get their revenge. I know Tom Brady and the Bucks are 2-0 against the Cowboys, but that will come to an end. Now, guys, on a side note, I know a lot of people that watch the NFL, they gamble. You guys do know that Vegas makes money by gambling. People lose money. Vegas takes money from people and they build these big casinos. You need to be careful. You need to do, if you gamble, and I don't promote it, I don't think you should, but if you do it light. And instead of wanting to, let me just, look, I'm like very far from a professional gambler, okay? But I follow sports all my life. I do know how the world of sports gambling works. And pros, guys that actually make money on this, they don't bet on every game. They'll look at this whole slate of games and they might pick 1 or 2 games that they really like. Now, it might be a money line, might not even be points. Like, for example, the Chargers and the Jags, it's Chargers -1. Well, if they really like the Chargers, well, they might not even go with the -1. Why risk it? Just bet it down to just half a point or money line. But I don't think you can bet down to half a point because that would be money line. Anyway, you see my point, and also what I just want to warn you against, if you're going to gamble, be really weary of double-digit point spreads. The Niners and the Seahawks. Niners favored by 10. Actually, when I look at it and I look at the two teams, that's the only one that actually makes sense to me. And still, that's dangerous. Seahawks are a good team. But, the Bills favored by 13. Guys, of course the Bills could win that by 13. Of course, anything can happen in the NFL. But I also think the Bills might be resting some of their players, in the fourth quarter, getting prepared for the Bengals or the Ravens, whoever wins that game. And there might be a backdoor cover. Who knows? Keep in mind, the Dolphins do have Tyreek Hill. They do have Waddle. Now, I don't think Waddle's as great as, Chase or, other guys that were in that draft class, Williams or it's bad. I forget his name. I'm in the middle of the video and I forget his name. But the receiver from Philadelphia who won the Heisman Trophy, Smith. I don't think Waddle's as good as him, but Waddle's good. 13's a lot of points to give up in the playoffs. And then you had the Ravens and the Bengals -9.5. Guys, that series is so tough. Again, these lines are, I would stay away from over a touchdown unless it's the Niners and the Seahawks, and then even then I might stay away from it. So, betting is, remember when in the movie Ocean's 11 when George Clooney's giving Brad Pitt that speech and they're talking about gambling and they're like, I think they're in the elevator or something, and George Clooney's saying, okay, if you gamble long enough, the house always wins. But you have to take that one moment where there's a weakness and then put it on the line. Well, guys, that's kind of how the pros do it. You look for these lines from a weakness, whether it's a totals, a point spread, a money line. So don't do it. Don't gamble. But if you do, at least do it wisely. That's my advice. You can throw it out if you want. But guys, have a great day, and thank you for listening. God bless you.